Evan Steele walked slowly through the alien forest as the night wrapped around him like a heavy blanket. His boots pressed softly against the glowing blue plants that covered the ground. Every step produced a faint light, but no sound. The air felt colder than usual. The wind carried a strange metallic smell that always made him alert. He had done this patrol route hundreds of times, but that night something felt different. It felt like the forest was breathing with him. He checked his scanner. No movement. No heat signals. Just a flat green line. Yet his instincts kept whispering danger. Evan had survived many battles by trusting his instincts, and tonight they screamed louder than the silence around him. He took another step and then froze. A voice whispered right behind him. A soft, warm breath touched his ear. "We would make beautiful children." The words slid into his mind like a warm hand sliding into cold water. Evan turned instantly and raised his rifle. His heart hammered. His breath stopped. His eyes searched the darkness for the source of the voice. Nothing moved. The trees stood still like ancient guardians watching him. His scanner started to beep. Something warm was close. Very close. He took a slow breath and moved forward. His palms were sweaty on the grip of his rifle. He tried to speak, but no words came out. He felt like the forest was listening to him. Then the whisper returned, closer, clearer. Evan, his name. She knew his name. He took one step back. For the first time in years, he felt real fear. Not battlefield fear, but something deeper. Something personal. He pointed the scanner toward the sound. The screen flashed with a faint orange glow. A heat source stood just behind a fallen tree. Human-shaped. Still waiting, Evan forced himself forward. Step by step. His heartbeat felt louder than the wind. He raised his light and pointed it at the tree trunk. Something moved. A shadow separated from the darkness. A shape stepped into the soft blue glow of the plants. Evan's eyes widened. She was tall with smooth silver skin that reflected the forest light. Her hair floated like soft threads of starlight. Her blue eyes glowed gently. She had the beauty of a dream and the presence of a threat. A Velari woman. One of the most mysterious alien races humans had ever met. Evan aimed his rifle at her chest. She did not move. She only watched him with a calm expression, as if she could see more than his face. As if she could read his thoughts. She took one slow step forward. Her movements were fluid like water. Her voice was soft but strong. "Do not fear me, human soldier." Evan tightened his grip. His voice finally returned. "Stay where you are. I am warning you." Her lips curved into a small smile. Not mocking. More like she knew he would say that. "I have watched you for many nights." Evan Steele, his stomach dropped. For weeks he had felt a strange presence, but he always blamed long shifts and lack of sleep. Now he understood. It was her. He tried to activate his radio, but she lifted her hand. "If you call your soldiers, you will start a war neither of our worlds wants." Evan stopped. Her tone carried truth. No threat. No fear. Just calm confidence. He lowered his hand slowly. "Why are you following me?" She stepped closer. Evan did not step back. He felt frozen in place. Her eyes softened. "Because you interest me." Evan felt his chest tighten. He had heard Velari were emotional creatures with strong intuition and stronger bonds. But hearing her say, it made him confused, curious, nervous. She moved closer until she stood only a few feet away. Evan could see the faint silver patterns under her skin. They shimmered like moonlight on water. She reached out her hand. Evan flinched, but she did not touch him. "I will not harm you, Evan, but you must listen to me. A storm is coming among my people, a dangerous one." Evan raised his brow. "What kind of storm?" She looked down for a moment, as if choosing her words. "My people are preparing something something that can destroy the peace between humans, and Velari Evan felt his stomach twist. He knew the peace was fragile. One wrong step could break everything. Why tell me? She looked up again. Her eyes held a mix of sadness and warmth. Because you are not like the others, you are calm, you are honest, you are brave, and your soul is loud. I can hear it from far away, Evan swallowed. He did not know if she meant that as a compliment or a warning. She stepped even closer until her hand rested lightly on his wrist. Her touch was warm, almost comforting. Evan should have pulled away, but something inside him told him not to. She whispered again, but this time her voice sounded different. Softer, almost longing. Your duty calls you away, but your heart is already mine. Evan felt a shock run through him. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words formed. She looked at him with eyes full of meaning and mystery. In that moment, the forest felt alive. The stars above felt closer. And Evan Steele understood one thing clearly. His life would never be the same after this night. The whisper in the dark had changed everything. The next morning, Evan Steele sat on the edge of his bunk staring at the metal floor. He had barely slept. His mind replayed the whisper the silver-skinned Velari woman spoke in the forest. Her calm voice, her glowing blue eyes, the soft touch on his wrist. No matter how many times he tried to ignore it, the memory still returned with full force. It felt too real to forget. He wanted to report the encounter, but every time he opened his mouth, the words stopped. What would he say? That an alien woman told him they would make beautiful children, that she knew his name, that she warned him about a coming danger. It sounded like he had lost his mind. His commander would think he was stressed. His team would laugh. The higher officers would place him under medical watch. He did not want any of that. So he walked out for another patrol, pretending nothing happened. When he reached the same glowing forest, the silence felt heavier. The blue plants lit up again under his steps. Evan kept his rifle ready and scanned the area. His heart beat fast, not from fear of attack, but from the strange hope of seeing her again. He did not understand why he felt that. He did not want to feel that. Yet he did. Minutes passed. The forest stayed quiet. Then he heard a soft sound behind him. A breath, a gentle shift in the air. He did not need to turn to know who it was. You came back, Evan. Her voice floated through the trees like warm smoke. Evan turned slowly. Serenia stepped out from behind the tall crystal-shaped stone. Today her face looked calmer, her hair glowing faintly in the morning light. She carried no weapon, no armor, only a soft silver cloth wrapped around her like a simple robe. Evan raised his rifle instinctively, but did not aim. Her presence did not feel threatening. It felt strange, comforting, and dangerous all at once. Why are you here? He asked. She tilted her head slightly and looked straight into his eyes. Because you did not run from me last night. Many humans would have. Evan cleared his throat. I didn't run because I wasn't sure if I should arrest you, or shoot you, or just ignore you. Her smile returned. A small, soft smile that made Evan feel off balance. I am not your enemy. Human soldier, I have no reason to hurt you. Evan took a deep breath. Then what do you want from Serenia? Stepped closer, her movements as smooth as flowing water. She stopped only a few feet from him. The silver lines under her skin glowed brighter as she spoke. My people are preparing something. They call it the rite of renewal. It is a gathering where the strongest Velari choose partners and pass on their energy to the next generation. But this time something is wrong. They are forcing it. They fear the future, so they want power fast. Too fast. Evan listened carefully, and Serenia looked down for a moment. Her glowing eyes dimmed slightly. I was chosen too. But I refused. Evan frowned. Why? Refuse if it is part of your tradition. She lifted her gaze again, and her expression softened. Because I do not want to be bound to someone. My heart does not. Call, I do not want to be claimed by force. The Velari feel in ways humans do not understand. Our bond is deep, too deep. It can destroy us if wrong. Evan exhaled slowly. He felt the weight of her words. He also felt her fear, though she tried to hide it. They punished her for refusing. He could see the faint marks on her wrist, glowing like half-healed burns. Evan stepped a little closer without thinking. Serenia. Who did this to you? She gently placed her hand over his rifle, lowering it. It does not matter. What matters is that they will not stop. They believe I hide something, and now that I have spoken to you, they will think you hide something. Too. Evan felt a cold wave move through his chest. Her people might hunt him. His own team might question him. He stood caught between two fires, and yet his eyes stayed locked on her. Why tell me all this? He asked. Serenia slowly raised her hand and touched Evan's chest over his beating heart. Her touch was warm, steady, and filled with meaning. Because when I first saw you, I felt something rare, a harmony, a match. My instincts call to you, and that is why my people fear you. They know I chose a human over them. Evan felt his chest tighten. He wanted to deny everything, but he could not speak. Serenia's voice lowered to a soft whisper. If they discover our meetings, they will hunt you first, and they will take me next day. Branch snapped somewhere deeper in the forest. Serenia's eyes widened. They are already searching. Evan lifted his rifle. Serenia stepped closer to him and whispered with a trembling breath. Evan, you must choose duty or trust. The part ended with the forest shifting as unseen figures closed in around them. The forest stayed still after the snap of the branch, but Evan knew what it meant. He did not need a scanner to confirm it. Someone or something was nearby. The quiet air felt heavier. The blue glow of the plants dimmed as if reacting to danger. Serenia stood close, her silver skin reflecting the faint light, her eyes watching the shadows. Evan tightened his grip on his rifle. Serenia touched his arm gently. Do not fire unless you must, she whispered. They will see it as a threat. Who is they? Evan asked. She looked toward the deeper part of the forest. Hunters from my people. They track energy signatures. They track me. Evan felt a cold knot form in his stomach. He scanned the trees but saw nothing moving. Are they hunting you just because you refused to read? Serenia nodded slowly. Right of renewal is more than a tradition. It is power. A bond between mind and energy. The leaders believe I carry a rare essence. They want it controlled. They want it used. Her voice had no anger, only sadness. Evan's radio crackled suddenly, with static making him jump. He quickly lowered the volume. Someone from the base was trying to reach him, but he could not answer. If he spoke now, Serenia's people would hear him. If he stayed silent, the base would think something was wrong. Both choices were bad. Faint pulse of blue light flickered behind the trees. Serenia's eyes widened. They are closer than I thought. We need to move. Evan hesitated. If humans see me with you, they will think you captured me. If your people see us together, they will think I betrayed you. Serenia took his hand for the first time. Her touch was warm and pulsing like a living heartbeat. Then, stay close to me. I can shield our energy trail. For a little while, Evan did not understand how, but when she tightened her grip, the air around them changed. It felt softer, like a soft barrier formed around them. The glowing plants under their feet dimmed even more. Together, they moved deeper into the ruins. Old stones rose from the ground like broken teeth. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls. Evan had passed this place many times, but it never looked alive like it did now. Serenia slowed down and placed her hand on the stone surface. The symbols brightened under her touch. Evan stared. You can control these ruins, he asked. Not control. Serenia whispered. They respond to energy. The Velari built them long before humans arrived. They act like a shield if used correctly. Evan looked around. The place felt ancient but powerful. A safe spot even in danger. Serenia stepped back. We do not have long. My people will break through. The shield, But I must tell you something before they do. Evan listened closely. The energy bursts your base has detected are from the right preparation. They are gathering forces. They believe human presence near their sacred grounds is an insult. They plan to strike before the treaty meeting begins. Evan's eyes widened. That would cause a war. Serenia nodded. Yes. And once it begins, it will not stop. Evan felt his pulse race. He needed to report this. His people had to know. But if he told them about Serenia, they would treat her as a threat, not an ally. They might try to capture her. That would start a war too. He felt trapped once again, between duty and trust. Serenia looked at him with calm eyes. You must decide what to do, Evan Steele. Tell your people and risk my life, or stay silent and risk your own. Evan rubbed his forehead. The weight of the decision felt crushing. Before he could speak, the ruins vibrated. A loud hum filled the air. Serenia's eyes widened in fear. They found you as a sharp blue beam of light shot past them, hitting the stone wall and leaving a glowing mark. Evan raised his rifle instantly. Evan, no. Serenia grabbed his arm. If you fire, they will respond with lethal force. I can stop them, but only for a moment. She stepped forward, placing herself between Evan and the direction of the attack. Her body glowed with a bright blue aura. The energy formed a shield around them. Velari hunters emerged from the darkness, shadows shifting around their armor. They carried long spears that crackled with electric energy. Their eyes glowed with suspicion and anger. One of them shouted something in the Velari language. Serenia replied firmly, her voice strong but shaking. Evan did not understand the words, but he understood the tone. They blamed her. They wanted her to surrender. They wanted to take her away. The lead hunter raised his spear. Serenia looked back at Evan, with fear in her voice. They know you met me, Evan. They think you are the reason I refused. They right. Evan stepped closer to her and whispered, what do they want me for? Serenia swallowed. To use you against me, or to destroy you. Ruins trembled again as the hunters prepared to attack. Serenia tightened her aura around both of them. With a trembling voice, she said, Evan, hold on to me. Whatever happens next, do not let go. And as the hunters charged, the world around them erupted into blinding blue light. Evan felt the blinding blue light fade slowly. When his vision cleared, he found himself standing in a different part of the ruins. The air felt thin, and the plants around him gave off a weak glow. Serenia stood beside him, breathing heavily, her aura dimming like a dying flame. She leaned against a broken pillar, struggling to keep her balance. Evan stepped closer. Serenia, are you hurt? She shook her head, but her voice was weak. I shifted us away from the hunters. It takes energy more than I wanted to use. Evan looked around. The forest was quiet again, but this time the silence felt dangerous instead of peaceful. He knew the hunters were still out there searching for them. They will not stop, he said softly. She nodded. No. They will chase me until I return to the right, or until I am dead. Evan felt a tight pain in his chest. He had known her for only 2 nights, yet her presence felt important. Strong. Human instinct told him to protect her, even though it made no sense. He touched his radio. A red light flashed. It was damaged during their escape. No signal, no backup, no orders for the first time in his life. Evan was alone without the military watching over him. Serenia looked at his broken radio. Your people will think something happened. They will search for you too. Evan sighed. Then both sides are hunting us. Nowhere is safe. Serenia stepped closer and placed her hand lightly on his chest. Her touch was warm and steady. There is one place we can hide temporarily, the deep ruins. They can mask energy signatures, but it is dangerous for humans. We must move carefully. Evan nodded without hesitation. Lead the way, I will follow. Serenia guided him deeper through cracks in the stone walls. Strange glowing lines covered the floor like veins of light. The ruins hummed softly as if alive. Evan felt something watching him from the shadows, but Serenia pressed onward with confidence. As they walked, she spoke quietly. Rite of renewal was once a peaceful ceremony. Families offered energy to the next generation only by choice. But now the leaders want to force chosen partners. They fear decline. They want power and control. Evan listened carefully. And you were chosen. Serenia lowered her eyes. Yes. Chosen not for connection, not for heart, but for strength. They believe I carry rare energy. They want to bind it to someone loyal to them. Evan frowned. And refusing made you dangerous to them. She nodded again. Yes. A threat to their future, a symbol of rebellion. Evan felt anger rise inside him. The thought of someone forcing Serenia into anything felt wrong, painful, even though she was not human. Something about her touched him in a way he did not understand. They reached a narrow passage. The walls pulsed with slow light. Evan touched one of the glowing lines and felt a mild shock. Serenia pulled his hand away. Gently. Do not touch the energy veins. They react to unfamiliar life. Evan raised a brow. They react badly. She gave a small smile. Sometimes her smile faded as she listened to the forest behind them. They are closer than I expected. Velari hunters are fast. They follow emotion and instinct, not tracks. They feel my energy and your fear. Evan exhaled sharply. I am not afraid. She tilted her head. Your heart beats faster when you lie. Evan steely looked away and muttered. Maybe a little. She stopped walking and looked at him with an expression that mixed sadness and warmth. I do not want you hurt because of me. Evan glanced at her. You saved me twice already. I won't leave you. Before she could respond, the ruins trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. A distant metallic call echoed through the forest. Serenia stiffened. They found the entrance. They are opening the ancient gate. Evan readied his rifle. Can you stop them? Serenia shook her head slowly. Not alone. Their energy weapons can break the shield of these ruins. Only a full bond can activate the old defense systems, but that bond requires harmony between two beings, harmony of emotion and energy. Evan blinked. You saying you and I? She looked at him with glowing eyes. Yes. But the bond is not simple. It ties our senses, our instincts, our hearts. If we do it just to survive, it will destroy us. But if we do nothing, the hunters will capture us. Both. Evan stepped closer. Serenia, what do you want? She looked down, then up at him, her voice trembling. I want to choose my path. Not one forced by my people, not one controlled by your military. I want freedom, and I want you safe. But choosing both may break the rules of two worlds. Stone wall behind them cracked loudly. Blue light spilled through the gap. The hunters were close. Serenia took a deep breath. We must move to the inner chamber. It is our last chance. Evan nodded. Then let's go. Together, and as the ruins trembled from the approaching hunters, they ran deeper into the ancient heart of the Velari world. Hunted by both species and bound by a growing connection, neither could escape. The inner chamber of the ruins opened before them like the inside of a giant stone heart. Blue veins ran across the walls, pulsing softly with a rhythm that felt alive. Evan followed Serenia into the center where a circular platform glowed faintly. The air here felt thicker, almost heavy with old energy. Serenia stepped onto the platform and placed her hand on a stone panel. Lines of light crawled across the floor in response. She closed her eyes for a moment and breathed deeply. This place is safe for now, she whispered, but only for a little while. The hunters will break through eventually. Evan looked around. The chamber felt ancient but powerful. It reminded him of the stories about early Velari worlds filled with technology that felt more like living creatures than machines. He checked his rifle. Energy levels were low. He had only a few shots left. Serenia opened her eyes and watched him. Will not win a fight against them, even with a full squad. Humans cannot match Velari hunters. Inside our own ruins. Evan shook his head. Then we do. What we can until help Eravesrenya. Step down from the platform. Your people will not send help. They will think you disappeared. In the forest, they will search in the wrong direction. And if they find signs of Velari involvement, they will assume you were taken. Evan swallowed hard. If that happened, humans might prepare for conflict. Serenia watched him carefully. Your world will suspect mine. My world will condemn me for contacting you. This is how wars begin. Evan felt a heavy pressure on his chest. Duty told him to return to his base. Instinct told him to stay with her. Something deeper pulled him toward her, a quiet force he could not deny. The chamber trembled suddenly. Dust fell from the ceiling. Serenya's face tightened. They are breaking the second barrier. Evan raised his weapon. Serenia placed her hand on his arm. If you fire, they will kill you instantly. They only want me. You are only a part of the path leading to me, but if you stay near me, they will see you as a partner, a threat to their order. Evan took a slow breath. Then I stay as long as you need. Meserenya's eyes softened a little more than before. She stepped closer, her voice lowering. Evan, I told you before, the bond needed to activate these ruins requires harmony. Harmony between two beings, heart and instinct tied as one. If we attempt the bond with fear in your heart or doubt in mine, the ruins will reject us. Both of us could be harmed. Evan looked at her glowing blue eyes. They held fear, but also something gentler, something like hope. Before he could speak, the chamber doors shook violently. A deep roar echoed down the hall. Hunters were using their energy spears to force the gate open. Serenia grabbed Evan's hands, holding them tightly. If they take me, they will drain my energy and use it in the right. They will control me forever. And they will use your existence as proof that humans interfere. Evan stared at her. She was strong but still vulnerable. She carried power but no freedom. She was a warrior but treated like a tool. He felt something shift inside him. We fight together, he said softly. I will not let them take you. Serenia stared at him with wide eyes. Why would you risk everything for me? For someone not human. Evan did not look away. Because this is not about species. It is about choice. You deserve one. Her lips parted as if she had never heard anyone speak for her like that. The chamber shook again. Blue cracks spread across the door. Serenia looked toward the platform. There is one last thing we can do, but it will change our lives forever. The bond will protect us. It will activate the ancient defense. But once done, it cannot be undone. You and I will be linked, even if our worlds stand against us. Evan stepped closer to her. Serenia, look at me. You asked if I trust you. The answer is yes. A soft tremble went through her body. She slowly reached up and touched his face with her glowing fingertips. Your loyalty will break with this choice, Evan. Your people will not understand. Evan took her hand gently. Then let it break. I decide my loyalty. Not them. Serenia's breath caught in her throat. She had no words, only emotion shining in her eyes. A loud boom hit the chamber door. The hunters were seconds away. Serenia wiped her tears quickly and nodded. Come to the platform, Evan. We will activate the bond. I will guide you together. They stepped into the center of the ancient circle as the hunters broke through the outer gates. Light began to rise from the floor surrounding them, both worlds closing in as they made a choice no soldier and no Velari had ever made before. Asterisk. The chamber doors burst open. At the same moment, the platform beneath Evan and Serenia came to life. Blue light shot upward, forming a swirling dome around them. The ruins responded like a waking creature, ancient and powerful. Velari hunters stepped into the chamber, their armor glowing, their weapons humming with danger. They stopped when they saw the rising shield of light. One of the hunters shouted in the Velari language, his voice shaking with fury. Serenia did not respond. Her hands were locked with Evan's, her eyes closed, her breathing slow and deep. She looked both fragile and powerful at once. Evan stood still, letting her guide him. He felt warm energy flowing from her hands into his arms, through his chest, then spreading across his whole body. It felt like a heartbeat that was not his own. He did not know if he should fear it or trust it. But he held on to her and kept his mind calm. Serenia whispered just loud enough for him to hear. "Do not fight the energy. Let it move through you. Feel my rhythm and match it." Evan tried to breathe at the same pace as her. Their breaths aligned. Their pulses aligned. Their thoughts began to blur, and then the ruins glowed brighter, as if accepting them. The hunters stepped closer, but the shield pushed them back with a shock of blue light. They shouted again, but did not dare cross it. Serenia opened her eyes slowly. She looked at Evan with a strange softness. "It is working. The chamber accepts us." Evan felt dizzy. "What does that mean?" She placed her forehead gently against his. "It means the bond has begun. But it is not complete." Yet Evan barely had time to process this when a sudden flash of white light cracked through the shield. Something hit him with force like a shockwave. The world spun. The next thing he knew, he was lying on the stone floor outside the ruins. His ears rang. His body ached. His hands felt empty. Serenia was gone. The shield had collapsed. The hunters stood around him, but instead of attacking him, they lifted Serenia's unconscious body. Her aura was gone. Her silver skin had faded to a dull gray. She looked lifeless. Evan tried to get up, but a hunter kicked him down with a powerful shove. "Stay down, human," the hunter growled in broken English. "You cause this. You break the right. You break our order." Evan struggled to breathe. "Please, she needs help. Don't hurt her." The hunters ignored him. One lifted Serenia into his arms with surprising gentleness. They carried her toward the forest. Evan forced himself to stand, but another hunter pointed a charged spear at his chest. "Do not follow her, human. She faces judgment. You face death if you interfere." Then they vanished into the glowing forest, taking Serenia with them. Evan stood alone, shaking his fists, clenched, his throat burning. He wanted to run after them, but he knew he would be killed instantly. He turned and stumbled toward the human base. Every step felt heavier than the last. When he reached the perimeter lights, human soldiers surrounded him with rifles raised. "Hands up, Evan Steele, drop your weapon." Now before he could explain, they tackled him to the ground. He felt metal cuffs snap around his wrists. A voice spoke above him, cold and sharp. "Sergeant Evan Steele, you are under arrest for desertion, unauthorized contact with alien forces, and possible collaboration with the Velari." Evan tried to speak. "Commander, you don't understand." Serenia, she was taken. The commander cut him off. "Save it. You will be questioned. You will tell us everything." They dragged him into the base and locked him inside an empty room. Cold metal walls. A single chair. A camera blinking in the corner. Hours passed. Then the interrogation began. Human officers questioned him again and again. "Why did you leave the patrol route? Why did you disable your radio? Why were Velari hunters near you? Who is Serenia? What is the right were you taken?" Somewhere in the middle, Evan realized two things. One, his people would never believe his truth. Two, Serenia was suffering while he sat locked away helpless. His chest tightened with every minute he wasted in the room. He could feel something strange too, a faint pull in his heart like a thread linking him to someone far away. A soft rhythm. A weak breath. Serenia. She was alive but barely. And she was calling for help. Evan's decision formed inside him like a storm. He was done being a prisoner of two worlds. He waited until the guard opened the door to bring food. Then he struck fast, knocking the tray into the guard's face and slipping out before the alarm sounded. He sprinted down the hallway, his cuffs scraping against his skin. He did not know how far the Velari had taken Serenia. He did not know what dangers waited ahead. He only knew one thing clearly. He would not let her face judgment alone, even if he had to break every rule his world ever gave him. Evan ran through the dark forest with only one thought in his mind: Serenia. Every breath felt like fire in his chest, yet he kept going. Twigs snapped under his boots. The glowing plants lit up with every step, but he did not stop. He followed the faint pull inside him, a strange invisible thread that tugged at his heart. The incomplete bond. It guided him like a compass. He did not fully understand how, but he trusted it. He reached the ancient Velari path leading deeper into the restricted territory. Human soldiers would never dare enter this place. Even he felt the pressure in the air, as if the forest itself warned him to turn back. But he kept moving. The pull grew stronger. Serenia was close, and she was weak. Evan pushed forward until stone pillars rose around him, marking the entrance of a sacred Velari chamber. Blue torchlights burned along the walls. Strange symbols flickered across the ground, like they sensed his human presence. At the center of the chamber, Serenia lay on a raised stone table, her wrists bound by glowing restraints. Her silver skin had faded almost completely. Her chest rose and fell slowly, like each breath was a battle. Around her stood 5 Velari elders, their tall forms wrapped in glowing robes. The hunters stood behind them, silent and cold. One elder turned to the Siku. Others. She refused the rite. She made unlawful contact with a human. She broke the order. Another elder hissed softly. She will be drained. Her essence will feed the next generation. She will become empty. Evan felt rage explode inside him. He stepped forward without thinking. Stop, let her go. All the elders turned sharply. The hunters raised their spears. Energy crackled in the air. A human dare enter sacred ground, one elder said in anger. Evan raised his hands but kept walking. I don't want to fight, I want her alive. She did nothing wrong. The lead elder stepped forward, his eyes glowing brighter. She broke our law by choosing a human. She denied the right. Her punishment is death or emptiness. Your presence proves her guilt. Evan shook his head. No, you don't understand. She was forced. She wanted freedom, not rebellion. Elder lifted his glowing staff. Humans speak with emotion, not truth. Step back or be destroyed. Evan's heart pounded. He knew he could not win a fight against them. But he also knew something they did not, the bond. He felt it pulsing through him, faint but alive. Evan took a deep breath and spoke loudly. The chamber accepted us. I know you felt it. The ruins responded to us. The elders exchanged shocked looks. The hunters stepped back slightly. Impossible, one elder whispered. Syria was barely conscious, but her eyes fluttered open for a second. When she saw Evan, she tried to reach out, but her restraints held her down. Evan stepped onto the glowing floor. The ancient symbols brightened under his feet. The chamber hummed like a sleeping giant awakening. Elders stared with wide eyes. The bond is incomplete, the lead elder said, but even an incomplete bond has power. Evan stepped closer to Serenia. Then let us complete it. Let her choose her own partner. Let her live her own life. The lead elder raised his staff, ready to strike. We will not allow a human to bind with a Velari. It will break our future. Evan stood firm. If she dies, I die too. The bond will break both of you. Heavy silence filled the chamber. Serenia's weak voice broke it. Evan is right. If you kill me, you destroy part of him too. The bond will tear. The elders hesitated. Destroying a bonded pair was forbidden, even by Velari law. The bond was rare, sacred, and powerful. Evan gently placed his hand on Serenia's cheek. Her skin felt cold, but she leaned into his touch. Serenia whispered one trembling sentence. Evan, if you choose me, the bond will tie our lives forever. Your world may reject you, my world may hunt you. Evan smiled softly. Then we face it together. I choose you. Light erupted from the platform beneath them. The chamber walls pulsed with energy. The restraints snapped and dissolved. Serenia gasped as warm energy surged through her body. Her silver skin brightened, her aura returned stronger than before. The bond completed. A wave of blue light spread across the entire chamber, knocking the elders and hunters to their knees. When the light faded, Serenia stood strong, her eyes glowing with new energy. She turned to the elders. "I choose my own future. The bond is sacred. You cannot undo it." The elders bowed their heads. They could not fight the ancient law. They could not harm a bonded pair. Evan took her hand. Serenia squeezed it gently. Outside the chamber, the forest lights changed. The energy signals that prepared the rite shut down. Across the region, Velari war machines powered off as if someone pressed a silent switch. Human sensors detected the sudden drop and called off their battle preparations. The bond created a signal neither world could ignore. A message of peace, not war. Evan and Serenia walked out of the sacred chamber hand in hand. Serenia whispered softly with the same voice that began everything. We were never enemies, Evan. We were always meant to find each other, and for the first time in a long time, both worlds stepped back from the edge of war, saved by a whisper in the dark.